Hello everybody, welcome back to another stream. We are back in XP12 and today we're going to be taking a look at the newly updated FlightFactor Boeing 757 here. Yeah, as you can see, we are flying the Jet2 livery today, and we're flying a bit of a special flight actually. We are flying the registration, as you can see at the back. Just over there, we're flying Golf Lima Sierra Alpha India, which is one of the last 757s Jet2 had. They retired it in January of this year, and they flew it from Manchester down to St. Athans near Cardiff for it to be scrapped, unfortunately. So we're kind of recreating that flight today. The final flight of Golf Lima Sierra Alpha India, which is pretty cool. Still having 75 issues, yeah, so the update has a few issues. There's some really nice changes and additions. The new flight model is great in my opinion, but there's a lot of issues and I'll show you those later on. We kind of have to work around it a little bit for this flight. So I'll jump into the cockpit here. We're using the modern avionics package, as well as I did some research, and this aircraft did have the modern avionics package installed in real life. So we're trying to replicate this flight with as much accuracy as possible. It departed. Yeah, there we are, Caleb. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so this aircraft in real life departed from stand 65 at Manchester. It was very much snowy on the day, and then it flew into St. Athens. So as you can see, we're at stand 65, normally a cargo ramp, which is fine. I adjusted the sim brief as well, so we're not carrying any passengers or payload. We are super, super light today. And if you thought this thing didn't already have an insane power to thrust ratio, it has an even more insane power to thrust ratio now. Power to thrust ratio? What am I saying? What am I saying? What's the term? Thrust to weight ratio. There it is. Jeez, that took me a while. Yeah, thrust to weight ratio. That's what I meant. Snow weight. Yeah, I know. It was snowing. It was snowing in real life. But we are using lifetime live weather today. We're just gonna pretend that they retired them in June. How about that? So, you need to do a toga takeoff. Ooh, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll put a poll out in a second whether we do a reduced thrust or toga. I think if we do toga, we're gonna have to climb out at like 35 degrees or something. Let me show you the route here today then. As you can see here, we are at Manchester using the time models Manchester. And we've planned to depart runway 23 left on the Cooks 1 Yankee departure, and then over into Wales down to the south. And we're going to be flying this arrival in. It's going to be the Web 1 Charlie arrival. And then the ILS runway 25. I don't know why, but Say Intentions tends to give me the visual, but we're going to go ahead and shoot the ILS anyway. That should be fine. I did do a flight. You may have seen a short, actually. I did a flight earlier. You may have seen a short of my landing. The new flight model is really, really nice. So, yeah, we'll talk a bit about that later on as well. Short turn flight pathos right now in the MK78. Oh, have fun. As far as the ground textures, what do you recommend, auto or map enhancement? So performance and quality wise, for me, they're about the same. I have been testing them both recently. However, map enhancement does install quicker. It has less issues, in my opinion. The UI is better. You do have more map choices as well. And that's comparing the free version to auto. You can then upgrade to the premium version. I don't have that, but you can upgrade to the premium version. If you want the higher quality textures, which I've not tried yet, but I might do in the future. This plane is meant to go to Kemble. My local bug will change to St. Athens. Yeah, I heard that actually. I heard it was meant to go to Kemble. But yeah, it is currently, well, I suppose it's been disassembled by now, but yeah, it's at St. Athens. Let's power up the aircraft. I've got the GPU already on, so we'll go battery. I'm using the beautiful Mango Studio sound pack today. Auto, external power, and put them on the buses. And you'll hear the aircraft come to life. But yeah, map enhancement is working quite nice for me right now. I will admit. We'll get the ADIS and nav. We'll get all the hydraulics on. I will show you some of the issues in a second. With the latest update. Utility buses on. All of this is fine. Emergency exit lights, engine limiters. I'm going to put these on as well. The elect engine CONT. We'll get the fuel in a second. We will go position lights on. Put this to bright. Now here, the landing altitude you can't set, so it goes in thousands rather than hundreds for some reason. I'm going to set to 0 sea level because that's the closest I can get. That's one issue. We got auto on these guys. We don't have any passengers, but but that's fine. And we'll go auto and everything here. And there we are. Overhead flow is done. We can start our loading. So we have no packs, no cargo, and for fuel I think we'll need, I had 6 tons earlier. Let's see what it's saying now. It is saying block fuel of 6 tons. So we'll put that, optimize, load. Alright, so aircraft is loading. We literally just have fuel, no payload, no passengers. Yes, I will send you a livery, a link to the livery, Caleb, when I finish the stream. Absolutely. So we're getting off fuel. So another one of the issues is, if I grab the speed brake handle, it's not animated, but as you can see, it moves in the reflection. This is a really strange one. It moves in the reflection, and it moves when I use my hardware speed brake lever on my Honeycomb Bravo. I don't know if they'll... Yeah, they do work. It's just literally the speed brake lever is not animated, but it does work. Another issue is the heading is bugged. As you can see, only that one works. Again, you can see your heading does still show up here, so you can use it. It's still flyable. Same goes for the alt. The alt doesn't work, but it does change here, so you can kind of still... You can work around it, but yeah, those are the main issues I've found so far. Otherwise, the update is quite nice once they get these issues fixed. So what do they add or update? Mainly bug fixes. Of course, they introduced some new bug fixes. They updated the flight model, and they updated the cockpit. So the cockpit textures do look a lot better, in my opinion. And you can see things like these switches now have animations rather than clicking into place, which is really nice. So the switches are like animated now, which is pretty cool. Although these ones are slightly bugged as well. So yeah, once they got those issues ironed out, this will be a nice update for sure. It's still flyable. You just gotta work around it a little bit. Hey, Simcrash Flyer and Tucker, welcome. What scenery do you use? Like Orthos, SimHeaven, I'm wondering whether XP12 default scenery is good enough. Personally, I use Orthos and SimHeaven. For Orthos, I generally use Ortho for XP, and sometimes also Ortho map enhancement. Just depends. At the minute, this is Orbex True Earth, which I highly recommend if you fly in the UK quite a lot. It is payware, but it looks incredible. Really nice. That's what I use in the UK. Obviously, I'm from the UK, so I do a lot of flying in the UK. Let's go ahead and start the FMC setup then. So, looks like there's a little visual bug there. I didn't notice that one earlier. Or, no, they're meant to be like that, aren't they? Highlighted. Anyway, we're at Echo Golf Charlie Charlie. Oh, the FMC letters got little animations when you click them now as well. Put the ref airport in. We'll copy and paste our GPS position. There it goes. We are heading over to EG Sierra Yankee now. The ICAO of St. Athans seems to have changed at some point. Navigraph has the updated ICAO, which is Echo Golf Sierra Yankee, but other databases don't. So at the top of the screen on the overlay, you're going to see Echo Golf Delta X-Ray, and on Elivasex, I've had to set Echo Golf Delta X-Ray. That is an old ICAO, as far as I know. I've had to set it like that just so it works, but in the sim with the latest nav data, it does work just fine. Doesn't really affect the flying. So EGSY, now we are using the real flight number they used on that flight. So they used Chanex 75 Alpha India was the real call sign they used. There we are. Runway 23 left at the minute, and we'll get our ATIS then. So Manchester ATIS using same tensions for our ATC. ATIS is, let's see here, what's the frequency? ATIS frequency 12198. So we'll turn on the comms and we'll put 12198 in. We'll give it a second and it'll give us our ATIS.
Sky conditions: few at 4100 feet, scattered at 4800 feet, temperature 22, dew point 15, QNH 1009er, density altitude 1200 feet, arriving and departing runways 23 left, 23 right, transition level 60.
That's all I need to know really.
Caution bird activity, advise on course heading, altitude, and if traffic service is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information November.
Information November. Okay.
Manchester Airport.
we'll head over to clearance. Use that sim, thinking of it, but I'll not be able to do it because I sometimes can't stay in the cockpit and just leave it on. That is pretty much the reason I use stay intentions as well, is because I tend to, when I do a lot of flying, I'm also away from my PC, like overnight, or if I have to go out and, you know, do some things, I'll set a flight, go out, do what I need to do and come back home. That's why I really like stay intentions, because you have the autopilot feature, where you can set this to co-pilot and the co-pilot will handle all the comms for you, which is really cool. Also with stay intentions, of course, with stay intentions you get coverage everywhere as well, no matter where. The only thing with that sim is you get coverage when people are online, generally at big airports like Heathrow, Gatwick, Manchester, etc. But if you're flying to obscure airports, like for this flight today, we wouldn't have ATC at St. Athans most likely, so yeah, this is why I like stay intentions. Fair, but that sim's decent as well. IVAO is pretty good as well, so I've had. So we're on clearance delivery now. We'll get our clearance. It was information November, wasn't it? Alright, let's go. Manchester clearance, Channel 75 Alpha India, stand 65, aircraft type 757-200, information November on board. Request IFR clearance to St. Athans, please.
Give me 1 second for that clearance.
So we'll get our IFR clearance here in just a second. Beautiful lighting. We're running, of course, XP12.2. Look at that. Really cool.
Channel 75 Alpha India. Information November is current. Cleared to St. Athans via the KOXE 1 Yankee departure, runway 23 left. Initial climb to 5,000 feet. Departure on 118.58, squawk 4373.
Cleared to St. Athans via the Cooks 1 Yankee departure runway 23 left, initial climb 5,000 feet. Departure on 118.58, squawk 4373, Channel 75 Alpha India. Same intentions is payware and it's AI. But as you just heard, I think AI actually sounds pretty good.
Alpha India, read back correct.
You do get the whole cabin crew and all that sort of stuff as well. Passenger announcements, which I have off today because we don't have any passengers, but some of my other streams will have passengers announcements on, so you can hear those if you want. Right, so we got cleared up to 5,000, so I can't set it in my altitude box here. I just have to look on the display here until I set 5,000. It does still work, the autopilot does still respond, it just literally visually, it doesn't show up here. So 5,000, departure is, I'm going to put this in my COM2 standby, just in case. So I remember it, it's 118. 58. So that's a real person. Same intention does have chatter, and sometimes you can opt in or out of this feature, but it'll use your voice and play it to other people. Right.
Runway 05 left, climbing 5,000 on frequency 119.40.
That mic is horrendous. 4-3. If sound intention is too loud, let me know. I'll turn it down for you guys. 4-3-7-3. So I was with Valaris, but Air Transit offered me a job, $47 an hour. So oh, Strudel, that's a decent salary. Not too bad at all. I'm still with Jet2 on a pilot's life. I need to get some videos out on it. Yeah, still flying for Jet2 on the pilot's life. Right, so squawk is set. We'll complete the FMC here, but I'm going to get the AQ going.
Alpha Zulu, clearance to takeoff.
Right, interesting. Someone's asking for takeoff clearance on on ground frequency. So route, departure, arrival. Departure 23 left on the Coops 1 Yankee. And transport flies overseas. Yes, they fly the 321 LR, don't they? Over here to the UK and Paris, I think. Right, APU starting. We can go to route. Also notice the execute light here doesn't work. So the light isn't working at the minute. Now we can go to route. After Kuksum, it's Papa 17 airway. After Papa 17 is the knock-in, is where we're exiting. After that is the November 862 airway. Then we're exiting on the WebB.
715, Type 320 Airbus, which you stand to one
run to the star. So we got route, sorry, departure arrival.
Information Foxtrot,
already set this.
via the standard 1 Romeo departure zone is filed. Departure runway 23 Romeo, initial time 5,000 feet, departure 133, decimal 6, squawking 6332, Shamrock 715.
Charlie. Put that in, we'll check this.
Read back correct.
We can put those.
Shamrock 715, which is stand 201, requesting push and start.
Okay, cool. What I am going to do is go remove that waypoint, the Cardiff waypoint. That'll do, it's just fine. And 330, oh yeah, nice. One of those on fire, I don't bother to do, or the engine mods with its installer. Oh, the installers made it super easy. I just ran the installers and off I went. Super easy to do all the engine mods. We are using the Carter engine mod for the RB211s today. And alright, so that looks good. We are cruising today at an altitude of 230. Flight level 230. Cost index of 93. Wind is 220
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
023. And reserves is 3 tons. Half our fuel is reserves today. We have 6 tons on board. So as you can see, we're really light today.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
We'll get onto the APU gen and we'll disconnect the external power. And let's remove everything, close everything up and get ready to go here. Alright, there we are. I'm gonna clean this cool better pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Right. Right, do you guys... I think Toga's going to be a bit overpowered if we do a Toga on this takeoff. Because we will get a restriction of 5,000 and we're going to hit that so soon. So, let me do a quick sim brief performance for this takeoff. We will still get a pretty speedy takeoff into your power.
Super stand 12, request push and start.
Speedbird 1968. Push and start approved. Face southeast.
I'm doing this on my tablet.
Face southeast. Speedbird
So,
1968.
of course we're going to get flaps 5, pretty standard.
Speedbird 1968. Contact tower on 118.63.
The
Take
issue
care.
temp. And then these speeds match up pretty well with what SimBriefs give me, so I'll just use these. That'll do us just fine. CG 3.4.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Right, so 3.4 is set. Put this onto the legs page. Takeoff reference is good here. Let me set runway heading for the takeoff. So I'll just zoom in on the ND here. Because the heading, again, heading window isn't really working, so we've got to look at it on here. Runway heading for 23 left is 231. Now you can see on just there, it gives me my heading, so that's how I'm going to set that.
Easy 2134, Manchester ground, readability fire.
1.
Easy Y 2134.
Auto brake RTO.
Uniform requesting IFR clearance to Edinburgh.
Fuel pumps.
Clearance to Edinburgh via the pole 5 arm departure, then as filed departure runway.
Your damper on, hydraulic pumps are on.
Departure on
Oh, that should be enough.
133.6, squawk 1472, easy Y 2134.
Engine gens can come on. Alright, I think we should be about good to go here. That all's fine. We might be a bit low on some hydraulic fuel, but that's all good. Not too much of an issue. Alright, Now I'm going to leave the weather radar in test. The previous versions had it would cause a crash if you turned it on. I don't know if the latest version still has that issue. I need to test it, but just to be completely safe, today's flight I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use any weather radar. It's a nice, clear, lovely day here anyway, so we're going to have some lovely lighting for this flight. Alright.
I will call you when
So let's set the V speed. I can't remember how. I can't remember if it did it automatically, right? 1, 2, 3.
Croc 7 Tango Lima push and start. Approved whenever you're ready.
3, 2. I guess ref will be 1, 3, 2. Can I? Oh, there we are. It's set everything automatically. Good. All right. Can we just go through and set? Yeah, now we can go set and they're all green. Good. All right. Flight directors, auto throttle can go on. Our first altitude is set. Yeah, we should be good to get our pushback. So we'll call up. Clearance and ground is the same frequency here at Manchester. So we'll let this guy get his clearance and then we're gonna. Actually, we will just a button here real quick. Manchester ground, Chinook 75 Alpha India, stand 65. Request to push and start.
Chinook 75 Alpha India, push and stop approved. Face southeast.
Push and start approved, face southeast. Chinook 75 Alpha India. Alright.
Ground to cockpit.
There we are.
Please show me where you want and bypass pin inserted.
Just remember
Release
that from
parking
my first flight. Right, everything up here looks good to me. We'll get the beacon light on. Fuel pumps are on. Pressurization auto. Good. Alright, let's release the parking brake then. You can see a nice animation on that as well.
Engines.
Nice. Alright, let's go ahead and start the engines then. We'll start number 1 first.
Clear to speed by the
We'll put that in ground.
departure. Departure
Let the
on 2, 3
N2
right.
is
Initial
full up.
time 5,000. Departure on 118, decimal 58.
And we'll add the fuel.
6245 Chinook 82 Tango.
How beautiful is that lighting? Lovely.
Manchester clearance, EasyJet 2164 at stand 81 Lima, requesting IFR to Amsterdam.
To Dublin via the EGSY 1 Yankee departure,
And the Mango Studio
departure
soundtrack
runway
really
23
does
left,
sound
initial time
amazing.
5000, squawk 4645. Ryanair 3 Charlie Quebec.
Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu, read back correct. Contact ground on 121.855 when ready.
Yes. Beautiful. These were the last UK passenger 757s. Of course, we still have UK registered 757s in DHL. DHL have some 757s, but they're freighters. So these were their last. Oh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Is the cockpit texture updated yet? It is, yeah. I think there's more updates to come. But they've done a sort of initial update. It is a beta update, so do be aware of that. It looks pretty good. It is a nice improvement, in my opinion. It really is.
4634.
Alright, we'll start the engine number 2.
Chinook 4 Yankee Bravo, read back correct.
The animations are really nice as well. The new and switches and buttons and stuff. Put the fuel in.
Runway 23 right. Runway 23 right via Golf Juliet. NH4 Yankee Bravo.
Very cool.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Set the parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Oh, those RB211s, so cool. Alright, let's set flat 5. As you can see, I'm running out of VRAM, so the textures here are a bit compressed. They are a lot better looking than this, it's just I'm VRAM limited, so it's compressing them, unfortunately. There it is, they've got a little bit better.
Information Yankee at stand 44, aircraft type Airbus A320, requesting IFR clearance to Amsterdam Schiphol.
I'll have your clearance.
Manchester ground, EGSY2 with information Yankee requesting IFR clearance to Amsterdam Schiphol.
So is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Right, they're gonna disconnect. Everything here looks good. Let's get tower frequency preset, which is gonna be 11863. Get that ready to go. Guess what? I was doing a shared cockpit flying on the approach on my end. We were 4 red. Pilot had 2 white to red. Interesting. That's weird. How much VRAM is enough for XP12? I have 8 and it generally runs okay at large airports and with large airliners. I do get a bit of compression. Performance is still pretty good though. 8 I would say is bare minimum. I would recommend 16 to be completely honest. 12 you'll get away with as well, but pretty soon that's going to not be enough. So really right now I would recommend 16 to be honest. All right. So engine gens are on, APU gen and the bleed can come off, and we'll turn the APU itself off. Everything else is good. Everything here is good. Alright, let's get our taxi clearance then. Manchester ground, Chinook 75 Alpha India, request taxi runway 23 left. 12 works perfectly for me. Oh good, brilliant.
Chinook 75 Alpha India. Taxi to runway 23 left via Echo, Quebec, Delta. Bravo. Cross runway 05 left. Then Bravo Zulu. Uniform.
Alright. Interesting voice, but there you go.
Contact departure on 118.58.
Taxi to runway 23 left via Echo, Quebec, Delta, Bravo, cross runway 05 left, then Bravo Zulu, uniform. Chinook 75 Alpha India. Yeah, it just going to set into
118.58, Cathay 216.
So we'll get rolling then. We'll get our lights on.
Welcome to Manchester. Contact ground on 121.705.
There we are. And we'll get our Tobii traffic going. I see questions about GPU. Again, the best GPU is very subjective, but also just, you know, a 5090 is the best GPU, right? For 2024 and for XP12, it's really VRAM limited. You know, my 3070 is just fine, other than the VRAM. Right, we need to take it back here. Other than the VRAM. So I would say anything which has 16 gig of VRAM for future proofing a little bit is you're good to go. If you can get more VRAM as well, get more VRAM. VRAM is king, to be honest. Assuming you have a good enough CPU to catch up.
Chinook 212, roger, contact Manchester departure on 118.58, safe flight.
There's a Ryanair 737 over there, taxiing. There's another one taxiing over there. Jet2 A330 over there. So Nvidia, there's benefits and drawbacks to Nvidia or AMD. My current preference is Nvidia, but that's because I've never had an AMD GPU, so I can't really test. I think AMD seem to be better value for money, to be honest, but yeah, you're gonna have to do a lot of research.
Winds 190 at 3. Runway 23 right. Cleared to land.
Looks great. Why are we on tower? We shouldn't be on tower.
ER Airport. Information Oscar.
You should be talking to
1650 Zulu. Wind 360 at 2. Cav OK.
That's better. I was wondering why I had someone get cleared to land on ground. Has Jet2 retired all the 757s? Yes, so we are recreating what is basically the last Jet2 757 flight. I think the last commercial flight was Geneva to back to Manchester in this very aircraft that we're flying right now. And so the flight we're doing is when they flew it to St. Athans back in January of this year for it to be scrapped. Hey Drishal, the update doesn't work for me, the altitude doesn't move. Yes, it's a bug. I have the same issue. As you can see, my altitude is showing 0, 0, 0, 0. But you can see the altitude you have set here on the PFD. So it's a bit of a workaround. We need to take this left. Hey Wycliffe Barrett, thank you very much for subscribing, my friend. Glad to have you here. I will say that yes, as Captain Andre said there, the X3D CPUs are very good. I cannot recommend them enough for flight sim. I have a 7800 X3D and it's just fantastic. Really, really good. Alright, we did get cleared to cross the runway, but I do want to just check. I don't see anything. We've got a company 737 there. I'll get the strobes on as we cross. We're going to cross to the runway.
859. Read back correct. Ground is on 121.705. Safe flight, sir.
How did you get it to dual screen? This is the Modern Avionics package upgrade. So if you purchased it, you can switch to the Modern Avionics in options and avionics, and you can put FPDS upgrade on. I actually prefer the older analog ones. I'm a huge fan of the older analog cockpit. But the real aircraft that we're flying today has this one, so trying to be as real as possible. Struggling a little bit for FPS at the minute. The 757 is a little bit hard on FPS, and of course I'm streaming as well, so it doesn't help.
Stand 11 requesting IFR
once we get airborne,
with information Juliet.
Right, we're not on that runway anymore. I'm going to turn the strobes off and then we'll get our clearance.
Stand 11 requesting push and start.
Condor
so we stop here.
Say again your request.
Right, parking brake set. So we'll switch to tower. I will get the departure frequency preset here, 118580. We'll get it ready. So it's another add-on got to pay for. Yes, it's an add-on to pay for, RB. Yeah, it's I can't remember how much it is on its own, like $20 I think for the Modern Avionics package. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, you'll find it on the store. It's an upgrade. It's not new, it's been out for quite a while. Alright, let's contact tower. Manchester Tower, Chanek 75 Alpha India, holding short runway 23 left, fully ready for departure. Get LNAV VNAV set.
Chanek 75 Alpha India, runway 23 left, winds calm, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 23 left, Chanek 75 Alpha India. Alright, we'll go TARA. Nothing on final approach, nothing on both sides, so we'll taxi onto the runway. Lights are on. Everything up here looks good. Alright. We'll use as much runway as we can get. One of the most useless things, I love this quote. I've said it a few times, but this is something my flight instructor said to me. The most useless thing in aviation is runway behind you. So use as much as you can, you never know what kind of issue you're going to get. Even though we have more than enough runway today. So take as much as you can get.
Alright.
Ready to go then. Let's pull them up 50%.
On 118.58.
Stable and toga. Forward pressure on the yoke. There's 80 knots. We'll release that pressure now. V1 and rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Beautiful. Oh, parallel departure. Look at that.
Canex 75 Alpha India. Contact departure on 118.58.
Departure 118.58. Canex 75 Alpha India. Make that right turn. And 118.58 preset. Manchester departure, Canex 75 Alpha India, climbing through altitude 3,700 for 5,000. Right, I'll answer all your questions in a second, guys. Look at this insane climb rate we're getting here.
Canex 75 Alpha India, Manchester departure identified, climb, flight level 120, direct D253 hotel.
Climb flight level 120, direct Delta 253 hotel, Canex 75 Alpha India. Right, so we can go up all the way to 120.
Canex 75 Alpha India, climb flight level 120, direct D253, hotel approved.
Alright. We'll set standard now. Come on. Come on, flight directors.
75 Alpha India, climb flight level 230.
Climb flight level 230, Canex 75 Alpha India.
Skyway 703, turn left heading 065.
Canex 75 Alpha India, maintain flight level 230.
Maintain flight level 230, Canex 75 Alpha India. Look at that climb rate. Insane when we're light. Alright, I think we'll get the autopilot on there. Nice wing view. I think they changed how the fuselage used to block the cameras. You know, you can get nice wing views. Very cool. I'm supposed to tap the brakes on departure on wings. I actually don't know. I'm not too sure. I know on some, especially GA aircraft, you generally tap the brakes. For sure. Hey, Captain Sherbus, welcome. Above 10,000, we'll get the lights off. Right. There we are. Let's see. I do have clouds on max, yes. Yeah, the 757's a rocket. It really is. It's a great aircraft. So much fun to fly. And everyone, I've spoken to some 757 pilots, ones that used to fly for Jet2, actually fly these exact aircraft. They are just rocket ships. They are so fun. Highly regarded. Highly regarded aircraft. Hey Jonathan, welcome. How's it going, my friend? It's been a while. Glad to have you here. Alright, cool. What's better, explain the Microsoft Flight Sim? That's a very open question. It very much depends on how you want to use a sim, what you're using the sim for, Ramon. It really depends on that. You know, if you're interested in flight dynamics or system depth, then X-Plane is, for certain aircraft, better. I think default the flight model is better. Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 is also pretty nice. There's a lot of great system depth in the Phoenix aircraft, for example. The PMDGs are not bad. Turbine Dukes, the black square aircraft, are amazing. Yeah, it really depends. They're both great sims. Hey Wycliffe, what data strip are you using? I have Elevatex, but damned if I can get it to work. So I'm using FlyLive Studio, Wycliffe. It's FlyLive Studio. I've got my own custom to the banner at the top made. So that is custom made. I made it myself. But yeah, using FlyLive Studio for that. It's not too difficult to make your own sort of custom banner either. Look at that beautiful RB211. Seriously, it's got to be one of my favourite aircraft engines. I know it's not the most efficient, slightly lower bypass than what we have now, but it's amazing. Seriously amazing. The RB211 saved Rolls-Royce. It really did. Without this engine, Rolls-Royce would have been dead in the water. But then, if you do have time to read up on Rolls-Royce history, it's pretty interesting. Explain with Athans can be better, but out of the box.
Channel 75 Alpha India. Contact London Control on 133.6.
Yes, Jonathan, I agree. I do agree. London Control 133.6. Channel 75 Alpha India. If that's assuming you can run Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. I'm still struggling to get 2024 to run at you know, something decent.
486, say again your request.
1336, wasn't it?
KY.
London Control, Chanex 75 Alpha India, level at flight level 232. Yes, I have max settings for my clouds. These are max
Chanex
settings for
75
clouds.
Alpha India, London Control identified. Good evening.
But yeah, which sim is better is a very open question. It largely depends on what you want to use it for, and everyone's going to have their own opinions. And you know, I've been using X-Plane since X-Plane 10. So I kind of have quite a lot of affection for it. Those of you who are using FSX are going to have affection for Microsoft Flight Sims. Like it, there's so many factors. Both are really nice. We're going to be right in between these two cloud layers here. It's pretty cool.
75 Alpha India, London Control. I'll have you descending in just a moment.
Roger, London Control. Chanex 75 Alpha India. HG Sim, welcome. How's it going? FlyLive Studio, okay, I'll have a look. The banner's not the issue, it's getting the data to show. As I say, Elevatex is really nice. Yeah, I haven't tried the Elevatex one. But yeah, the data is really easy to add. You do need XP PC installed. It doesn't really affect your sim other than letting FlyLive Studio connect. And it does connect via either FSUI PC or just Sim Connect to Microsoft Flight Sim. Deciding which sim to get, do you mean a question? No worries, Rimno, no worries. Romo, what you want to do is maybe join the Discord. We can have a chat there if you would like. You can let us know what you want to use a sim for, what aircraft you're interested in, and some of us can help you there for sure. I know someone who's still on FSX and loves it. Yeah, I know. I've seen some screenshots. Oh, FS9. Wow. Yeah, I've seen people posting screenshots. Yeah, they are timeless sims, they really are.
Control, your package, Oscar Papa. Any chance of a weather update or levels running out of map?
Yep, that's it guys, thank you very much. Best place, join Discord. We have a great community there. Yeah, no one's going to get offended by any means. It's a perfectly reasonable question. Just a slightly difficult one at times. Is it AI ATC? It sounds great. Is it ATC AI? It sounds great. It is. It is. Some of the chatter you hear in the background will be real people. So what Say Intentions does is it takes recordings. If you opt in, by the way, you can opt out of this, and you are opted out by default.
Chanex 75 Alpha India. Whenever you'd like to send, flight level 160.
Descend flight level 160 when ready, Chanex 75 Alpha India. Alright, not too far from top percent. It is a pretty short flight today. We'll put 160 in.
Channel
Ready.
75 Alpha India. Descend flight level 160 when ready.
What was I saying? Yeah, so what Say Intentions does is if you opt in, it'll use like recordings of you talking, and they might be live, so they might be talking on this frequency right now. They may have spoken on this frequency a few hours ago, and it's playing a recording. But it's immersive. I do think it's quite immersive, having the chatter. It's really nice. But the actual ATC responses are all AI, yeah. And I think they sound really good. They change accent and they sound a bit different in different parts of the world as well, which is really nice. If you go to France, for example, they have French accents, so it's pretty immersive in that regard. Yes, update the St. Athans ICO, yeah. A lot of database is out of date, unfortunately, and Navigraph is really the most up to date. Even X-Plane, by default, the ICO is wrong, but if you have Navigraph nav data installed, you get the new updated ICO. I think S15 was announced anything exciting at FS Expo. Considering we just got 12.2, I'm not 100% sure. I think we'll probably just get an announcement on what 12.3 and 12.4 is. Maybe we'll get an insight into 12.5. Yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to FS Expo this weekend though. I'm particularly interested in hardware at the minute. Particularly interested in hardware, maybe looking at some force feedback stuff, because now that I fly in real life, the Boeing yoke from Thrustmaster is great, don't get me wrong, but it's pendular. Right now I'm flying 152s in real life and they're push-pull, you know. 2, you don't get the same feedback from these springs, so I'm really looking at force feedback stuff now.
75 Alpha India, descend flight level 070.
Descend flight level 070, Channel 75 Alpha India. I'll put 7,500 in. So as you can see, you can still operate the aircraft normally, you just got to work around that altitude box not working. Yeah, they might do everything to 12.5. That'd be pretty cool. Which I expect will be the debut of their new mesh terrain system. Ooh, interesting. That would be cool. If we do get an early look at that, that would be very cool. Absolutely. How do I get the latitude, longitude of the airport? Navigraph should give it to you. Or just go on Google Maps and get it from there. I was studying some air law earlier for my PPL exams, getting ready for some of them. How fun is air law? Unfortunately, air law at the minute in the UK is slightly all over the place because of Brexit, and we've kind of got half our regs are EASA regs, half are CAA regs, the other half are like a hybrid of both. It's super strange. The Expo Tour does have a sale around summer, yes. It's not happened yet, but it will, I'm pretty sure, in July normally. Aviation regs kill me. Yeah, it's not fun, is it? Some of it is interesting, don't get me wrong, but a lot of it is just numbers and a lot of numbers and a lot of regulations. But hey, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. Beautiful lighting. In the wait for the sale to Cab 742. Oh yeah, that always just go in sale as well. Yeah, good call. 4th of July sale. Yeah, that'll be in a few weeks. I'm working on the endorsement side of things, so etc. as I prep for C5. So many regs to remember. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just doing regs for PPL at the minute. I imagine your regs for CFI and commercial are even even worse almost. Oh yeah, good idea. Yeah, show off X-Plane store. Absolutely. I think, yeah, I think they'll do that. Hopefully, I do hope they do that. HG Sim, yeah. So the the heading and the altitude windows don't work, but you can still see what you're doing using the ND and the PFD. That should actually be 7,000. So you can still operate the aircraft. You just have to, you know, work around it a little bit.
Tango Yankee, contact Heathrow radar on 125.625.
So I'll pretend we'll say it's inop. We'll say it's inop for now.
One hail arrival into stand state.
Maybe we should add little inop stickers for now until they fix it.
For arrival.
Which feelers would do 744? They've already said they won't be doing anything modern. At least that's what I've heard. Sure, Caleb, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I've heard that as well, Strudel. I think their focus is just the 742 at the minute and the 742 freighter as well. So, of course, this update is really focused on the new textures, animations, etc. But a big, not issue I had, well, kind of issue, but the flight model previously was really weird on the 757, and the suspension values were completely wrong as well. The nose wheel would just bounce up and down the entire way down the runway. Both have been really nicely improved. You'll see it when on the landing. The flight model is so much nicer. It feels like a heavy jet, you know. It feels great. It might be a tad slow. I've never flown a 757 in real life. I don't know how it's meant to.
75 Alpha
fly.
India. Contact Cardiff approach on 119.155.
Cardiff approach 119.155. Channel 75 Alpha India. Yeah, I don't know how one of these fly in real life, of course, but from my perspective, it does fly really nice. The flight model improvement is noticeable, that's for sure. 119er 155. Put that in. 119er 155. Cardiff approach, Channel 75 Alpha India inbound for St. Athans on the WF1 at Charlie, arrival descending through flight level 150-407, correction, 4070. Alright, there we are.
Channel 75 Alpha India, Cardiff approach identified. Good evening, expect the runway 25 approach into St. Athans.
Expect the runway 25 approach into St. Athans, Channel 75 Alpha India. Alright. Final resting place for this aircraft is St. Athans. Look at that, look at the wing flex. Keep forgetting which RR engine's the newer one. I think the E4, Caleb. The E4. I think we have the newer version. Yeah, we have the E4s on this, don't we? These are the newer ones. I think it's the E4. Oh, 717, that'd be cool. They still use, Qantas Link still use 747s. 717, sorry. Quite a fair bit, don't they? When that sunlight reflects on the cockpit, it looks great. I really like the brown Boeing, or the tan Boeing cockpits in the 7.5, the 7.4, the older 7.4, the 7.5, 7.6. I think it's great. Looks like we're struggling to descend a bit, so I'm gonna get speed brake out. As you can see, the lever hasn't moved, but we do have speed brake out. So I'm gonna get some speed brake out.
Going to London Control 129.38.
Control final good, AK track claim Mr. Shane Doc, listener. My go-to is canvas liveries. They are simply amazing. They are my go-to. Especially for toeless aircraft, Tom can fly. He does amazing toeless liveries, and he's my go-to for sure. He does 8K and 4K as well. Hasn't sent back the 717. Have the TFDA one. Hey, A321 Joshy, welcome. Strudel, yeah, let me grab a link. It's a Discord. But they do great liveries for both sims, and they are my go-to. Absolutely my go-to. see here. Canvas liveries, yeah, there's the Discord link for you guys.
Twin up to 74 Hotel, contact Cardiff Tower on
right, let's get the lights on.
Cardiff Tower 103.105. Goodbye. 74 Hotel.
Let's put a fix in. So this is a weird bug I get in the 757 as well. The views go all strange. Anyway.
And do you provide light?
EGSY 25. The final approach course is I'm gonna put the speed brake away now. 254, so minus 180 from that is 074.
Chanek 75 Alpha India, descend altitude 4000, turn left, heading 180 vectors for the visual runway 25 approach.
Descent altitude 4000, left heading 180 vectors with the visual runway 25 approach, Chanek 75 Alpha India. Okay, so we'll go flight level change. 230 knots is fine. 180. Alright, there we are.
Roger. Could verify squawking 5425 and altitude is 3000.
We should descend in time. Yeah, we got
Chanek 75 Alpha India, altitude 4000, left heading 180. Vectors for the visual runway 25 approach approved.
Descend altitude 4000, turn left heading 180, vectors for the visual runway 25. Chanek 75 Alpha India. I don't know why they had to tell me that twice, but we'll go with it. ILS frequency is 11115, course 254. Now I know from my test flight we're going to use auto brake 3.
Chanek 75 Alpha India, 14 miles from the approach turn. Turn right, heading 220, descend altitude 3000 until established. Cleared for the visual runway 25 approach.
Hello, what's going on? Yeah, auto throttle does weird things. Let's see if we can descend in time now. Turn right heading 220, descend altitude 3000 until established. Cleared for the visual runway 25 approach. Chanek 75 Alpha India. What if you request the ILS approach? It's giving me visual. We are just gonna, yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Cardiff approach, requesting the ILS 25 approach for St. Athans. The heading on the MCP is broken.
Chanek 75 Alpha India, ILS 25 approach approved for St. Athans. Descend altitude 3000 feet until established. Cleared for the ILS runway 25 approach.
Descend altitude 3000 until established on the ILS, Chanek 75 Alpha India. Local QNH, this is turning out to be a little bit messy, isn't it? 1011. So 1011 is set. Now it's set. Approach. And yeah, we'll go flaps 1 speed. Should intercept the localizer in a second here. Or is it gonna just overshoot?
November 23 November, contact
there comes the there comes the 10. Alright, cool. Alright, we got there. We will overshoot, but it's gonna sort itself out. We'll go flaps 1. We'll book the flap 5 speed as well. A little bit messy, but we got there in the end.
November 2923, November Cardiff
flap
approach,
5.
Roger, QNH 1017.
Lights are all good. Alright, a lovely, lovely arrival into St. Athans here. Downloaded Condor livery, looked like made from 4-year-old, remember who. Oh yes, look at that. Alright, what's St. Athens? Because St. Tension's got a little confused on my test flight here. And didn't get B2 tower. So tower is 122.855. So we might have to do that ourselves. 122.855. St. Athan Tower, Chanex 75 Alpha India, established localizer 25. A321 Joshi, when the bugs are gone, it'll be a good update. I do like the new flight model, it's really nice. The new visuals are nice, the animations are nice.
Chanex 75 Alpha India, Cranfield approach identified. Good evening, St. Athan, QNH 1010.
No, we're not talking to Cranfield. 265, that's why. 122.865. Let's get the right frequency. There it is. Bug 160 for now. St. Athan approach, Chanex 75 Alpha India, established ILS 25. Okay, now we're good. Missed approach altitude is
75 Alpha India, St. Athan Airport Tower. Roger, continue approach runway 28.
Continue approach runway 25, Chanex 75 Alpha India. I think that's a ghost pull up. Gear down. Flap is 15, that's fine. We'll flap 20 and we'll bug our final approach speed of 109. Super slow today, because we are pretty much empty. Yeah, I don't know how they didn't catch that in testing, to be honest. It is disappointing when we get an update like that. I know it's beta, but it's a pretty big issue. Oh, I didn't set minimums. 633, do I have time? Okay. Flaps full. So the altitude window and the heading window are bugged. They don't work in the latest beta of 757. There's a few bugs. It is pretty buggy at the minute. Flyable but buggy. In other news, this lighting is absolutely amazing.
Command 251 Papa, pass your message.
Auto throttle, do your thing. That is amazing, isn't it? Right, speed brake not armed, ignore that. It's just the stable approach profile isn't really working on the 757. Oh, guys, that lighting. X-plane 12.2, amazing. I'm going to take the auto throttle. I'm just going to remind them that we're here, because they haven't got landing clearance yet. St. Athan Tower, Chanex 75 Alpha India is established on the ILS. Runway 25. Yeah, the execute button doesn't work either. Well, it works, just the light doesn't work.
Runway 28 is the active runway. Confirm you are established on the ILS for runway 28.
How is 28 the active runway? We're on 25. St. Tensions is being weird. I'm gonna just close St. Tensions. It didn't do that earlier. It doesn't seem to know what runway is active. I don't think they even have a... Anyway. My controls. I don't think St. Athan even has runway 28, so I don't know why they're trying to tell us that's the active. Right. The flight model is really nice, it feels heavy. Got some rain. A bit high, we'll correct. A bit fast as well, correct for that. Hi again. Watch on the same rate.
50, 40, 30, 20, minimums, 5.
Versus. Yeah, I mean it is low because we're very light as well. Can we make this runway, this exit? We can, lovely. Oh yes. Performance on this aircraft is crazy. Minimums on touchdown. Did we get minimums called on touchdown? I didn't hear. That could be another bug. We'll take a look at the replay, of course. The new flight model is nice. It's really nice. It feels great. Much more predictable than before. You can see all the aircraft waiting to be scrapped over there. We'll stand by. Strobes off. APU on. We're going to just head up over here and park there. Yeah, it wasn't... I wouldn't say it was a slam, but it wasn't super smooth. It's a shame that there's a lot of bugs, otherwise it'd be a great update. Once they get the bugs ironed out, I know it's a beta, but you know, once they get the bugs ironed out, it'll be a big improvement for sure. I did set minimums, yeah. Although I didn't set it on the co-pilot side, so that could be why. On the FO side, sorry. I did set minimum 633. As you can see. This is True Earth. Yes, this is True Earth, absolutely. Alright, 41 people watching. Welcome, all of you. Right, we're just going to head... Oh, look at this. How sad. All these aircraft due to be scrapped. Virgin 747 over there. Alright, we're going to stop here. And we will take a look at the replay, of course. So, parking brake then. And APU gen. And bleed can go on. And then we're going to kill the engines. Again, ignore this. Speed rate not armed. It was armed. Just a stable approach. Wasn't a bad touchdown though. Minus 229 feet per minute. 1.24 Gs. Oh. We'll put those back. There it is. What a beautiful aircraft. Beautiful. We're going to have to fly a bit more once title says EGSY. Yes, so EGSY is the new ICAO code for this airport, but the database on FlyLive and Elevatex isn't updated, so I've had to put EGDX, which is the old one, so that's why there's a difference, unfortunately. Alright, shall we take a look at the replay? Look at that 747, look at this lighting. How beautiful is X-Plane 12.2? Taking loads of screenshots. I'm using my own nightlight mod as well, so that's why the night lighting also looks pretty good. But this atmospheric lighting, good stuff. Really nice. Alright, let's take a look at the replay. Let me just shut down Elevatex. And off we go. Gerald Plays, welcome. How's it going, my friend? Yeah, let's take a look at the replay here. A nice final landing for this aircraft. Oh, guys, look at that. Get a few screenshots. Oh, alright, let's... this is Cardiff Airport, by the way. And St. Athans is literally just here. So close. Let's take a look. Yes, the sky colors are very accurate. Very accurate, absolutely. See, not a bad touchdown at all. Right on the aiming point. What a plane. Look at the effects. This thing has some crazy performance. It really does. I mean, 109 knots down final. I mean, because we were so light, but still. I really enjoy flying the 757. Even though it has the bugs, I still really enjoy it. And once these bugs are ironed out, which I'm sure they will be in the next beta, you know, do bear in mind this is a beta update. Bugs are expected. Maybe not as big as the ones we have now, but, you know, are expected. This is going to be a really cool update for the 757, and I will be flying it more. Because I love the way it flies now. This new flight model is fantastic. Look at the way the nose gear comes down as well, and it doesn't bounce as much. Oh, yes. Very nice. See, I think apart from the bugs, I think they've done a great job. Zooming in this far, mate. Let's do this instead to get a nice tower view. I don't like when airports have the tower view actually inside the 3D model of the tower. It doesn't look good unless the you know, the custom model is really high quality. Let's get it. All right. All right, that's about right. Final touchdown for this aircraft. Golf Lima Sierra Alpha India. It will be scrapped here at St. Athans. Never to fly again. Brilliant. And yeah, before the nose wheel used to bounce up and down and up and down, but that's actually really nice, that damping there. Big improvement. Look at the stopping power. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Okay, there's a little bit bouncy, but that's probably because I was on the brakes. There she goes. Take a look at a few more angles here. All right. Oh, look at that lighting. Beautiful. Look at the reflections. Yes. Center line too. Beautiful. I gotta get some screenshots of that, I think. Bunch of screenshots. All right, let's do this just for the end. We'll stick the camera over here again. And we'll end the stream there. What rudder pedals are you using? I'm using a Turtle Beach Velocity 1 rudder pedals. Turtle Beach Velocity 1. Actually, let's do that. For the for an outro here. Alright, so that's going to be the end of the stream, guys. Thank you all very much for being here. Overall, really nice update to the 757. It does have bugs. Once they get ironed out, I'm sure it'll be a lot better. But you know, so far in terms of the improvements, I'm really liking it. I am. Are you using? Okay, I guess you're talking between yourselves. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it on this for the outro of the stream. We should be back tomorrow, most likely in Microsoft Flight Sim. We're gonna be looking at the TDS GTN 750 for Microsoft Flight Sim in the Turbine Duke. So I'll let you guys go. I'll leave you with this beautiful landing on this beautiful aircraft, and I'll see you in the next one.